Look at any Chinese celebration, New Year, weddings, national holidays, and you'll see a sea of red. But why this color? Why has red, more than any other hue, become the visual signature of Chinese civilization? The answer lies in a journey spanning myth, philosophy, revolution, and identity. Our story begins not with emperors or revolutions, but with ancient cosmology. In early Chinese thought, colors weren't just decorative, they represented fundamental forces. Red corresponded to fire, summer, and the southern direction in the five-element system that structured the universe. Mythology gave red its first divine associations. The Vermilion Bird, one of the four celestial animals, guarded the southern quadrant of the heavens. This crimson phoenix wasn't just a decorative symbol, it represented the essence of fire and the height of summer's power. Early archaeological evidence shows red's importance. Oracle bones from the Qing dynasty, 1610-46 BCE, reveal rituals using red pigments. Cinnabar, a mercury sulfide mineral that produces brilliant red, was mined and used in burial practices to ensure safe passage to the afterlife. The Zhou dynasty, 1046-56 BCE, formalized color symbolism in its ritual systems. Red became associated with the nobility, not the highest rank, but an important one. Zhou ritual texts prescribed specific colors for different ceremonies, with red playing key roles in sacrifices and ancestral worship. Confucianism reinforced red's positive associations. The color came to represent virtues like loyalty, sincerity, and good fortune. As Confucian thought spread through Chinese society, so did the cultural preference for red in important life events and celebrations. During the Han Dynasty, 206 BCE, 220 CE, red took on imperial significance. While yellow remained the emperor's exclusive color, red became the color of high officials. Government buildings featured red pillars and walls, visually distinguishing state power from ordinary life. Buddhism's arrival from India brought new red associations. Buddhist temples featured red walls and decorations, while monks wore red robes in some traditions. This religious adoption further embedded red in the visual landscape of Chinese spirituality. The Tang Dynasty, 618-907 CE, China's golden age of cosmopolitanism, saw red in new contexts. Persian and Central Asian influences brought brighter red dyes and pigments. Red became fashionable in Tang poetry, art, and even makeup for wealthy women. By the Song Dynasty, 960-1279 CE, red had become commercially important. The development of porcelain techniques allowed for brilliant red glazes. Meanwhile, red paper became associated with official documents and important announcements, a precursor to modern red envelopes. The Ming Dynasty, 1368-1644 CE, took red to new heights. The Hongwu Emperor, whose name means vastly martial, embraced red as a dynastic color. Ming architecture featured extensive red elements, from the Forbidden City's walls to temple decorations across the empire. Ming ceramics perfected underglaze red techniques, creating some of the most valuable porcelain in history. These red and white wares became highly prized exports, spreading Chinese red aesthetics along maritime trade routes to Europe and beyond. The Qing Dynasty, 1644-1912, maintained red's importance while adding Manchu elements. Red continued in architecture and ceremony, but also appeared in new forms like the red hat tassels, indicating official rank in the Qing bureaucracy. Folk traditions solidified red's everyday significance. Red became essential for weddings. Brides wore red, not white, to symbolize joy and prosperity. Red lanterns illuminated festivals, while red couplets adorned doors during Lunar New Year for good luck. The 19th century brought challenges as Western powers imposed unequal treaties. Some Chinese reformers began associating red with what they saw as backward traditions. Yet red persisted in popular culture, showing its deep roots in Chinese identity. The 1911 revolution that ended imperial rule used red in new ways. Revolutionary flags incorporated red, though not yet as the dominant color. This began red's transformation from purely traditional symbol to modern political emblem. The Communist Party, founded in 1921, adopted red as its primary color. Inspired by international socialist movements, red represented revolution, workers' blood, and radical change. The red flag with gold stars would eventually become China's national emblem. During the Long March, 1934-1935, red became a literal and symbolic banner. Communist soldiers wore red stars and used red flags as rallying points. This cemented red's association with sacrifice and revolutionary struggle in modern Chinese memory. Mao Zedong's rise made red ubiquitous. His writings were published with red covers, his portraits framed in red. The Little Red Book of Mao's quotations became one of the most printed books in history, its color signaling revolutionary orthodoxy. The Cultural Revolution, 1966-1976, turned China into a red ocean. Red guards wore red armbands, buildings were painted red, and anything not sufficiently red in ideology was attacked. Red became both a color and a political standard. After Mao's death and economic reforms began, red's meaning evolved again. It remained the color of the state in the flag, party symbols, and official ceremonies, but it also regained traditional meanings in personal life, weddings, births, and festivals. Today, red envelopes, hongbao, continue ancient gift-giving traditions. The red color protects the money inside from evil spirits while conveying blessings. Digital red envelopes on apps like WeChat now modernize this centuries-old practice. Chinese New Year turns the country red. From door couplets and lanterns to clothing and decorations, red dominates the visual landscape. Each element carries specific meanings: prosperity, happiness, protection from the mythical Nyan monster. In business, red signals success and prosperity. Company logos, product packaging, and store decorations frequently use red to attract good fortune. This commercial bridges ancient color symbolism with modern consumer culture. Fashion designers reinterpret red for global audiences. Traditional kipao dresses in red silk represent Chinese elegance internationally. Meanwhile, young Chinese mix red with contemporary styles, keeping the color relevant across generations. Sports teams embrace red as a national color. From Olympic uniforms to soccer jerseys, Chinese athletes wear red to represent their country. The color communicates both national pride and the competitive fire of athletic spirit. International events like the 2008 Beijing Olympics showcased red on a global stage. The opening ceremony featured massive red formations, while venues incorporated red in their designs. This presented Chinese red as both traditional and modern. Red appears in Chinese language itself. The character Chinese letter Hong means red, but appears in compounds with broader meanings. Chinese letter, red envelope, Chinese letter, red flag, Chinese letter, prosperous, literally red fire. Language reveals how deeply red permeates thought. Psychological studies suggest red affects perception differently across cultures. While Western associations often include danger or warning, Chinese participants more frequently connect red with happiness, luck, and celebration, a cultural difference rooted in history. Contemporary artists use red to explore Chinese identity. Some reference traditional symbolism, while others critique political uses. This artistic dialogue shows red remains a living, evolving color in Chinese visual culture. The Chinese diaspora carries red traditions worldwide. Chinatowns from San Francisco to Sydney glow with red lanterns during festivals. This global spread shows how red maintains cultural connections across distance and generations. Environmental concerns now affect red's production. Traditional cinnabar mining raised mercury pollution issues, while synthetic red dyes create new challenges. How China addresses these concerns may shape red's future in sustainable cultural expression. Digital culture creates new red expressions. From red-themed filters on social media to virtual red envelopes in metaverse celebrations, technology transforms but doesn't diminish red's centrality to Chinese visual identity. What does red's future hold in China? As the country changes, red adapts, maintaining traditional meanings while acquiring new ones. It remains the color that visually defines Chinese civilization, from ancient rituals to cutting-edge technology. Red's story is China's story, layered, evolving, enduring. From mythical birds to revolutionary flags, from wedding dresses to smartphone screens, red carries millennia of meaning in every hue. It's not just a color, it's a visual language of identity, history, and aspiration.